Nido Qubein is a successful businessman, speaker, consultant, and educator. He's been delivering dynamic presentations for over 30 years to such leading companies as AT&T, Domino's Pizza, JCPenney, and Radio Shack. He's the author of more than a dozen books, including Stairway to Success and How to Be a Great Communicator. Enjoy this excerpt of Nido's presentation, How to Get Anything You Want.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. What a pleasure and a privilege to be in the midst of men and women who seek to have both success and significance. I've discovered one thing about life. Life does not give us what we need. Life almost always gives us what we deserve. And if we want to deserve more, we have to become more valuable. Someone defined value by simply the size of problems that you're capable of solving. So there are two pains in life you and I are going to suffer from, like it or not. One is the pain of discipline. One is the pain of regret. Those men and women who are disciplined in their life, who set their goals, who define them, who work them tenaciously and with great commitment, tend to achieve marvelous things. And others marvel at their achievements with both respect and a sense of dignity. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what your life has been like. Let me just sort of set the stage for you. I believe that performers always focus on results. I believe that non-performers always focus on obstacles. Which are you? My father died when I was 6 years of age. Sometimes someone will ask me this question, Nido, if you could change one thing in your life, what might be the one thing you'd want to change in your life? My answer is always the same. I know that answer by heart. I'd say, my goodness, if I could change one thing in my life, I would have much rather have had a dad. A dad who would have seated me in his lap. A dad who would have taken me to the circus. A dad who would have thrown me a ball. Sang me a song, read me a book, or merely talked with me man to man. But you see, dear friend, that was not my fate. Have you discovered in your life that sometimes out of adversity can emerge abundance? My mother brought us up. Now, my mother had fourth grade education. I'd put her against 25 PhDs from the finest Ivy League schools of your own picking. Here's why. My mother had this postgraduate degree in a discipline you and I would call common sense. Someone said, you know the trouble with common sense? It ain't as common as it once was. My mother would work day and night to feed us and clothe us. 5 in the family, 3 boys, 2 girls, and to instill in us values for life and principles for living. For example, my mother would say to me, Nido, if you want to be a great man, you must first walk hand in hand and side by side with people who are great. You want to be happy? Hang around people who are happy. You want to be successful? Be in the midst of people who are successful. You want to be rich? Find out what poor people do and don't do it. You know, Aristotle said excellence is not an act. Excellence is a habit. Excellence is a habit that you acquire through training and habituation. You can't be excellent Monday, Wednesday, and Friday and take Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday off. That wouldn't make any sense. You're either an excellent person or you're an ordinary person. Albert Hubbard once said, one machine can do the work of 50 ordinary people. But he said, no machine, oh no, no machine could ever do the work of one extraordinary person. My mother would say, always learn from the experts. Always learn from the experts. Because the experts have their knowledge in order. Have you noticed that when your knowledge is not in order, the more knowledge you have, the more confused you become by definition? The bookstores of America are packed, filled with books and information about financial planning, and yet 60%,